And we are recording, so I'm just going to get my audience. I think I got everyone. Make sure I put it back this way. He sat patiently in the doctor's office, looking over the magazines on the table. He was thinking about it was the end of spring. The weather was getting warmer. He was eager for it to be summer, for it to be hot outside, so he could take his family to go hiking and camping and fishing and everything outside, basking in the sunlight. The nurse called his name, and he followed her back to the doctor's office. At the age of 43, he had what was the beginning of cataracts, because like most people, he chose not to wear sunglasses to help protect himself from the harmful rays of the sun. When protecting yourself from the sun, you need to understand how the sun affects us as humans, what harm those UV rays can cause to us, and ways that you can protect yourself against the damaging effects. Why is it important for you to protect yourself against the sun? Well, you don't want cataracts at a young age. For two, you don't want to have discolored, splotchy skin. You don't want to have sores and blisters all over your body. And for three, it causes skin cancer, and skin cancer can kill you. According to Tanya Phillips, clinical director of the world-renowned Dermatology Clinical Research Center at Boston University Medical Center, from April of 1999, 1 day of sun exposure can lead to deadened skin cells, which causes DNA damage, and DNA damage leads to skin cancer. So according to research from a world-renowned doctor, you can actually get skin cancer for 1 day of sun exposure. I'm going to expand your knowledge on the sun's ultraviolet rays, how these rays can harm your body, and a list of ways that you can protect yourself. So let's get to know the sun, shall we? Many people think that the sun's UV rays cannot harm them. They lay out beside the pool, basking in the sunlight, they squint up at the sun, and they lather on handful after handful of tanning lotion. And the simple truth is, the UV rays are so strong that they're actually cooking your eyes, that help you see. And they're actually burning the skin that is the protective lining of your body. You can lay out beside the pool, it's perfectly safe, but if you don't use sunblock and you don't try to risk the damage that the UV rays can cause, then it's kind of pointless, right? As presented by the McGraw-Hill academic book, Access Science, from 2009 to 2015, understanding these effects from the sun is your first step. Ultraviolet radiation, or UV rays, are what we know as sunlight. They're invisible wavelengths that are measured in nanometers that come from the sun. They only penetrate several layers of body cells, biological cells, in humans, so they are limited only to skin and eyes. UV rays are categorized as most biologically damaging is the UVA, which is the long wave. So it's the longer of the sunlights or the UV rays that affect us. The UVB being moderate, and then UVC is mostly absorbed by the ozone of the earth. And so we don't get a lot of that. It's very, very low. So we're going to look at a comparison of the wavelengths real fast. There we go. So if you'll notice, we've got an order from the shortest wavelength to the longest wavelength. You've got the absorption from the ozone layer of the earth, UVC being mostly absorbed, and then UVB and UVA being moderately low. And then the biological impact that it has. And the amount reaching the earth. You notice that UVA, it actually reaches more of the earth than the UVB in the middle. UVA and UVB rays are the least amount observed by the ozone. And as pollution increases, that amount decreases over time, especially from the last 10 years. As that happens, these harmful rays you're more at risk because of the less absorption of them. So it's more effective for you now to protect your skin and eyes. Once you understand how these rays affect our bodies, then you can understand what harm they may cause us. So what harm do UVA, UVB rays cause to your skin and eyes? Exposure to UVA, UVB radiation causes the reddening on your skin, which you know as a sunburn. This means that your skin cells has actually died in that outer layer of your skin known as the epidermis. This leads to blisters. After these blisters heal, you'll notice that there's kind of like a brown splotchiness. That's a dead skin cells that's left over, and that is permanent damage that you can't make go away with any kind of lotions that you choose to use. Excessive exposure of this sunburn leads to DNA damage, and this is what causes skin cancer. Cataracts are the leading cause of blindness in the whole world. Think of your eye as an onion. It's got many layers. That outer layer protects the inner layers of your eyes. The outer layer is kind of like a jellyish plastic covering. When it gets cloudy and foggy, it impairs your vision. Your vision gets very blurry, and this is known as cataracts. And the only thing that can help cataracts in this present day and time is to surgically remove the outer layer of your eye. So we're going to look at some next slides, and they're pretty graphic in nature, so I'm just going to warn you they're not too bad though. Let's take a look at skin cancer and cataracts. First, we're going to understand how the UVB and UVA rays get to the epidermis. UVB being on the outer surface of the skin, so really the UVA gets into the skin cells that you see here. And this is skin cancer. As you notice the discoloration here, this is old cells that have actually died, that are brown. And then the darker part here, this is actually a tumor in the epidermis from UV rays. And if it goes away, it turns brown, and then you get new spots that come up from the skin cancer because it spreads from cell to cell. This is a driver that drove a truck for a long time, had one side of his face to the window, and the sun's UV rays were hitting off of it, and you can see the damage that it caused to the left side, probably to the eyeball as well. And then this is cataracts. You see the cloudy substance on the film of the eye, which will have to be removed surgically, or else they'll just choose not to see it. Here's my sources. In review for optometry from October 2016, UV radiation is not limited to just the summer. It can actually be worse in the winter because when there's snow on the ground, these rays reflect off of the snow. So if you choose not to wear sunglasses, it can actually be more harmful. So as you learn about these harmful UV rays, you learn that the only way to prevent them is to be proactive in protecting yourself against the sun. So how do you protect yourself against the sun? The United States Department of Labor, specifically the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, in May of 2017 has posted a listed number of ways that you can protect yourself against the sun. The first of those being to cover up. If you can see your hand through your clothes, then it is too thin and those UV rays are hitting your skin everywhere that it can. Author Rachel Friends at Dermatology Nursing stated in December of 2001 that many sunless tanning lotions, imitate more authentic colors more than ever, and they actually have new ingredients that are the same ingredients as sunblock and can protect against the sun. The second is to use sunscreen. We all know that you should use sunscreen. You always hear there's many SPFs out there and things like that. So let's focus. In June of 2016, the American Academy of Dermatology certified that 30 SPF will block up to 97% of those UVA and UVB radiation rays. They need to be water resistant. It needs to be applied 15 minutes before sun exposure and reapplied every 2 hours. If you're swimming or sweating, make sure when you get out of the pool you reapply it or after you go for the afternoon jog. Wear a hat, a wide brim hat that covers your nose, your scalp, your neck, and your shoulders, especially if you're working out in the yard, because as hours get away from you, you come inside and then you've got a sunburn everywhere and you're like, man, I was only out there for a couple of hours. Sunglasses. Look for sunglasses that are labeled 99 to 100%. 99 to 100% of UVA and UVB radiation blocking. Look for polarized. Sometimes people go in stores and they see sunglasses for $8.99 and they're like, oh, I'm going to grab these because I can't see. But it's not blocking any of those rays. So make sure that you ask questions and that you look for the ones that actually do block the rays. If you're going to wear sunglasses, why not buy ones that are good for your eyes? Isn't that the purpose? And then lastly, limit your exposure. The sun is more intense between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can actually do a shadow test. If your shadow is shorter than your height, then you know that the UV rays are at their strongest. So let's review what we have learned. When protecting yourself against the sun, first you need to understand how it affects us, what harm it can cause, and ways that you can be proactive about protecting yourself. We have learned that the most harmful of the sun's UV rays are UVA and UVB. We looked at what harm they can cause specifically in cataracts and skin cancer, and also a list of ways provided by OSHA. You can go online to OSHA and look at that. They update it pretty regularly. List of ways that you can be proactive against protecting yourself from these harmful rays. So when you're driving down the street from now on, and you see that big ball of fire in the sky and it's beating down on you and you're like, man, I can't see anything. Remember what I told you. And remember that you're actually getting harmful rays directly into your eyes and that you can prevent that, easily prevent that. After all, it is nice to be able to see.